Hi, welcome to You Can Talk. I'm Ruth Finney, and I'm so very glad you clicked here because this is the channel you've been looking for. A channel solely dedicated to helping you talk your way to healthy relationships. If you're married or dating, if you have some level of family or friends or people you work with, then somewhere in at least one of these areas, I know you've struggled with communication. If you're ready to experience some real change with your relationships and you're willing to put some simple principles into practice, meet me here on Thursdays. Become a part of this talk community by subscribing to You Can Talk and walk with me through the user's manual as we discover some revelations in communication that you can incorporate into your life. Here, we will tackle some of the most common and challenging issues we all face so you can talk your way to healthier relationships. In the last episode, we talked about lip service, saying what you mean and meaning what you say, being careful not to let careless words come out of your mouth. If you missed it, I'll put a link below for you to go back and see what our user's manual had to say about that. In today's episode, however, I will be discussing the magic words and how to incorporate more appreciation into your relationships. I don't know how many of you remember the show Barney, a popular kid television show that ran from like 1992 to 2010. Though Barney is now pretty much phased out of kid TV, I have a set of 2-year-olds who still absolutely love to watch Barney. I never really paid too much attention to it, but now that we're quarantined from this virus and streaming it daily, I realize it's one of the few children's television programs that still teaches what I grew up learning as good manners. You know, those basic practices that fall under the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Or in our user's manual, it's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Found in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. So I'm listening to this Barney episode on good manners, and they talk about the magical words of please and thank you, and how to take turns. Of course, the dinosaur characters Baby Bop and BJ want to know from Barney why those words are so magical when you can just say what you want or need and soon it'll just happen without all the extra dialogue. So Barney goes on to teach that when we say please and thank you, it shows kindness and appreciation, and people are more willing to do what it is that we're asking. So I got to thinking, how many times have we helped out a friend, made provisions for a family member, took on the task of a coworker, or even came through just in time to assist a complete stranger? Hopefully you received a word of appreciation along the lines of a thank you, but more often than not, it may have just been a quick thanks, spoken in a manner to which the person felt entitled to your kindness. And that's if they even said anything at all. When we're in relationships, especially long-term ones, it's easy to take for granted those little things that get quickly overlooked, especially when we feel like it's something the person is supposed to be doing. Like providing meals, taking care of the yard, maintaining employment, paying the bills on time, taking out the trash, taking care of the kids and the clothes, fixing things around the house, or simply just showing up for us somewhere in our lives. People who are a part of our lives fill in where there would be gaps. However, when we think about our lives, we tend not to acknowledge or appreciate the gaps of blessings that others have already filled. We tend to just look for areas of gaps where we feel they could be doing much more, especially in the areas of communication. For instance, maybe they're great at listening to us when we need to vent our problems, but not so great in the area of giving advice. So we get frustrated and question, why are you here? You never have any advice for me. Or maybe they're wonderful at knowing what to do to take care of a problem, but not so great at giving encouragement and support when we're getting discouraged. So we feel they don't really care. Or maybe they're phenomenal at being present and showing up for us when we need someone, but they're not so great at showing affection or expressing feelings or emotion. So we question, do they really love us? The bottom line is people do for us because it's what they choose to do. And the more appreciation we show for the things they're choosing to do, the more likely they're willing to do more of the things we ask or need them to do. And that begins with the magic words of please and thank you. Too often we feel like people we're in relationship should somehow instinctively know how to love us, how they should provide for our every need or handle our every emotion, and even how they should communicate with us. I'm a firm believer that people can communicate better if they're willing. But instead of us showing appreciation for the things they do well or asking for what we need in a respectful way, we just expect them to know what we need, how we would like for things to be, or how we would like to be spoken to. And when they fall short of those expectations, we get frustrated, depressed, or even angry. Soon our thoughts become filled with doubt on whether or not this is the right person for us because they don't really seem to know how to communicate with us, which ultimately we equate to them not knowing how to love us. What we don't take into consideration is that they may be feeling the same way. They may be saying, why don't they show me any appreciation or even acknowledge the things that I do? Or they may be saying, sometimes I wish they would just ask me instead of making demands or expecting me to just do it. Instead of communicating, we allow ourselves to grow distant or maybe even move on to another. And the cycle just starts all over again, not realizing our role in not communicating our needs. Our Heavenly Father knows what we have need for. He will often place people in our lives to fulfill those needs. However, realize that He also may use others in our community to fulfill those needs, and not just the one we're in a personal relationship with. Whatever the case, He still wants us to make our requests known to Him so that He can provide. He also may require us to put in some effort and not expect people to just know how to interact with us. He knows what we have need for better than anyone. Let's look at our user's manual and see what the manufacturer has to say about this. In John chapter 14, verse 13, he says, "If you abide in me and my words abide in you, whatever you wish, ask and it will be done for you." He further goes on to say in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 through 11, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks it will be open." Or, which one of you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for fish, will give him a serpent? If then you who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask of Him? So what do the magic words of please and thank you look like when used in a potentially unhealthy relationship and we want to knock down some barriers? So let's take a look and see some ways that we can incorporate thanks and appreciation into our communication. We can say things like, "Thank you for calling and checking on me today. It makes me feel good to know that you're concerned." Or we can say, "Thank you for helping out with the kids. It relieves stress when I know I have someone I can depend on." Or, "I really appreciate you showing up for me. Just having you there brought me so much comfort. Thank you for the way you provide for our needs. Life would be so much more difficult without you." Showing gratitude goes a long way when it comes to improving the health of a relationship. Now, I'm not saying you have to say thanks for every little thing a person says and does, but start with at least 1 to 3 times a week and eventually move towards showing a little gratitude at least once a day. Gratitude can also be given in the form of simply saying the words, "I love you," in a thoughtful and intentional way. So now let's look at some ways to ask for what we need, incorporating the magic word, please. Let's say you need some additional help with chores around the house. First, you want to find something they're doing well to show appreciation before you ask for what you need. Maybe you'll say, "Hey, I want to thank you for how well you take care of things going on outside the house. You really keep everything looking so nice. I want to bring up something I'm needing help with. Our lives have gotten so busy, and even though you help out, the tasks inside the house have become more than I can handle alone. I would really appreciate it if you can please let me know of any additional tasks you can commit to helping out with. Or maybe you feel like you're not getting enough love and affection, and you don't know how to express that need without it coming across negatively. So you can say, "We've gotten so busy lately, I'm really missing our time together. Can we please take a look at our schedule and see when we can find some time to reconnect, even if we need to get a sitter? I miss you." Or we can say, "I love when we have playtime together. Every time we kiss or touch, that excited feeling comes back over me. Can you please let me know when you're available for some playtime?" Lastly, maybe communication is your biggest struggle and you really need your partner to express their feelings more. It's important for people to feel that when they're expressing emotions, they're in a safe space where they can just be heard and not have to worry about being embarrassed, shamed, or chastised, or feel like they're about to enter into a word combat with you. You can say, "I know you have things going on in your mind that you're not sure if you want to share with me. I just want you to know that whenever you're ready to talk, I'm willing to listen. And please let me know if it's something you want me to respond to or something you just want to make me aware of or just share with me." Or maybe it's the everyday communication you want to work on, and your statement can sound more like this: "I'm seeing that we communicate differently, and that's okay. However, we are two humans in the constant process of learning each other, despite how long we've been together. So please don't assume that I will always understand or know what you hope to receive out of this marriage or out of this relationship. Please feel free to express to me if there's something I'm doing or not doing that bothers you so we can address it and work on it together. I don't like to make assumptions, and the only thing I can know for sure are the things that you tell me." Incorporating the magic words can improve the health of any relationship, so keep them fresh on your mind and ready on your tongue. The enemy hates a thankful heart because it helps us to overcome life struggles. It strengthens our relationships and grows our faith and trust in our Heavenly Father. If you can relate to any or all of these communication struggles and you are tired of the seemingly endless cycle of communication barriers that are keeping you from the relationships that you desire to have with others, then become a talker. Subscribe to You Can Talk. Select that notification bell down below and meet me here on Thursdays for the next episode where I will be discussing why it's so important to stop wasting time in your relationships and get it right. Leave a comment below and let me know what will be your tip of the week or talk-inspired practice that you're willing to commit to working on. How will you work to incorporate more appreciation into your relationships using the words please and thank you? Whatever it is, I'm rooting for you and praying for you because you can tame the tongue, approach with compassion, listen deeply, knock down the barriers, and talk your way to healthy relationships. Let your communication be the light of God's love the world so desperately needs to hear. Thank you for watching, and if you would, please like and share this video, and I will see you here next Thursday.